A suspect is behind bars this morning for the cold-blooded murder of a commuter in the subway over the weekend.
Andrew Abdullah turned himself in to police yesterday, and now we're learning about his long rap sheet. He is charged with the killing of Daniel Enriquez. Daniel's sister, Griselda Vile, is joining us this morning. Nice to have you on Good Day New York. Please, we extend our deepest condolences to you and your family. We're so sorry to hear about your brother. What are your feelings about this man turning himself, the accused shooter turning himself in?
I think I'm relieved because we will be a family that will have closure. It's our first step to getting justice, but as you know, he still has to be convicted, and there still has to be a jury of his peers. So it's still a long process to ensure that my brother does get justice and that this man does not go back on the streets to do it again.
Are you frustrated with the way things are happening in New York, and it seems like a revolving door of justice?
It's not just New York. You know, right now what's trending is what happened in Uvalde, Texas. What's concerning me the most is the lack of national movement to prevent gun violence. In the city, it's alleged that the assailant purchased the gun for $10. If he turned himself in, as soon as he murdered my brother, he gave it to a homeless man. How does he know? I mean, he keeps making poor decisions after another, and he is not a person that should be in public, in the community. He's a danger to society.
You know, as you are just choked up right now, and understandably so, what is one thing that you want Albany to hear you saying this morning? Because this is not the first time this happened, and I hope that this will be the last, but we know that's not the case. Your brother's remembrance goes far beyond a guilty verdict. So you being very loud and clear this morning to Albany, what do you want them to hear?
I want them to change the dialogue of gun control, because I think a lot of civilians are not understanding the conversation. We're not saying gun control. We're saying we want to prevent gun violence. And it should be harder to get a gun than a driver's license. They're trying to get away with background checks. Police officers, they go through psychological examinations, physical training. They receive training on how to use and operate a firearm, and a gun is a weapon. And if people are going to be using it to protect themselves, police officers are trained to do that. And when they fire a weapon, they have to get clearance before they can get that weapon back. And so why are we protecting? It's not even a right. It's a privilege to own a gun. You have a right to bear arms as long as you are abiding by the social contract, you know? Yeah. It's really a privilege. Yeah. And I'm not gonna name any of these shooters, you know, from Sandy Hook, from Uvalde, Texas. But these are men that are going into places that are like elementary schools and murdering innocent children. You know, as a mother, I've already lost my brother. I'm a school teacher. Why are we not having this national movement? It's been almost 10 years since Sandy Hook. So I want Albany to protect its city. I want them to empower the NYPD to continue to serve and protect our city. I shouldn't have to feel unsafe in a nation. I shouldn't feel unsafe in my city to the point that I have to bear arms. And I don't want to bear arms. I'm a pacifist. My brother and I, we don't physically fight. We're loving people. So I want Albany to begin legislation that limits and enforces and ensures those who want to obtain arms to take the responsibility of what they're doing.
Can you tell us about your brother? What kind of man he was?
He was a Renaissance man. He was the life of the party. Anytime he entered the room, you could hear his laughter from outside. He spoke German, Italian, French, Spanish. He taught himself Brazilian Portuguese and took classes in conversation. He was very generous. You speak to anyone, he goes above and beyond for friends, for coworkers, for family members. I have many, many fond memories of my brother. You know, he was the one who taught me how to ride a bicycle. He taught me how to write essays. He encouraged me to do debate. He's the reason I'm a teacher. And he's a family man. He took care of my mom, my dad, all my brothers and sisters. He's a doting uncle. He's a wonderful man. He's a wonderful person. He was so innocent and so loved by hundreds and thousands of people. I can't imagine what it's like, what it's going to be like at the funeral. I can't imagine my life without him, because I've known him my whole life. He's been there always, and now I know his light has been extinguished. But I want his memory to live on. I don't want people to remember him like this. You know, the pictures we released to the media show he was a proud Mexican. He was a proud New Yorker. You know, he loved Irish music. He's a person. He's a human. He could have been your friend, your coworker.
It's going to be a huge, huge loss for your family and for this city. Griselda Vile, thank you so much for coming on Good Day New York this morning and sharing your stories.
Thank you.
We'll pray for you and your family.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back with more of Good Day.